All right, the LA Chargers just dodged a bullet. Plus, you see the dude in the thumbnail. We'll get to him here in just a second. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but this channel fully dedicated to the Chargers because we're Jim Harbaugh fans. So we started this channel. Now we're rolling 10,000 subs. Appreciate that. So if you haven't subbed, please do that. Hit the sub button. Subscribe. Just do it. But let me know in the comments. We did this last offseason. It was a lot of fun. I've never been out west. I'm in Michigan. Never been out west to LA, San Diego. If I were to go out there and I was looking at you and I said, what do you recommend? Where do I go eat? I'm looking for anything. I'll eat anything. What's the best spot? Let me know in the comments. And then also you look in the comments, you're like, oh, I should go there. I've never been there. Let me know in the comments, LA, San Diego, something in California where I could go eat. Love it. Okay, let's start with this. First thing where they dodged a huge bullet is that this is what made me think of it. The Chargers safeties coach, Chris O'Leary, is leaving to be the Western Michigan defensive coordinator. Western Michigan, right here. So you think, well, why is that dodging a bullet? I'll get to that in just a second. He spent one season with LA under Jim Harbaugh. He was previously at Notre Dame. Kind of people are like, he's kind of like a rising star type of guy. He gets an opportunity to be a defensive coordinator, and then be a play caller, and just kind of he's trying to advance his career. I get it. Here's why this is such a dodged bullet. There are so many moving parts with the coaching staffs, front offices. It's crazy. So the Detroit Lions losing coaches left and right. You look at the Seattle Seahawks. They're losing people to the Raiders because Pete Carroll went there. So when you lose there, and it's just this constant domino effect. And so for the Chargers to be basically unaffected by all the coaching changes tells you a couple things. If you're a coach and you think that the Chargers suck, then you're more apt to leave, number one. Like, the future's not bright. I'm out of here. No, everybody stays intact. It's kind of like the Lions from a couple years ago. See what we're building. We're building towards it. I want to stay. I don't see a reason to move. And so to keep the staff generally together after all last year it changed and everything, keep that continuity for a couple more years, right? You can't ask everybody to just stay pat forever. We get that. And, you keep winning. Then the offense and defensive coordinators will get looks and, the whole thing. We get that. But to go through, you shouldn't have a lot of changeover. But that's what I'm learning this offseason is man, Pete Carroll goes to the Raiders randomly, and he's starting to go and get people that when he was with the Seahawks, they're there, front office people, personnel. It's just oh my gosh. So the Seahawks what are we doing? How did this happen? We were all good. So dodged a huge bullet there. Next thing, we've talked about this, but it's worth noting again really quick. Chargers sitting there, 63. This number keeps changing, but still, fifth, top 10 most available free agent money to be able to be used, depending on Khalil Mack, see what happens there. But the Chargers sitting right there. They have the fifth most cap space. Here's another bullet that was dodged, or just kind of all right, this is going to work out. When you look at the top 100 free agents, they're what the Chargers need. And we're going to look at that again and kind of the top priorities in order to get to the playoffs. Check this out. Javon Holland, DJ Reed, Rasul Douglas, a slew of defensive back talent. Now, you don't necessarily need defensive backs, but defensively it'd be nice to kind of just shore that up with some veteran dudes, right? We're going to get to, we know we need explosive players and the whole thing, but you need some defensive veterans, feels like, because Khalil Mack could be gone. Perfect. Defensive back dudes. Then you go down here. We've already looked at this. T. Higgins, yup. Interior offensive line, Trey Smith, yup. Could use him. You've got all the cap space, right? So it's just cool. Javon Holland, yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Chris Godwin, yep. Love it. And again, this is just the top of the top, right? And not even talking about where you probably won't do this. Khalil Mack sitting right there. But my point is, DJ Reed, Amari Cooper, we've looked at these and it's just it fits what you need. So if you go back here and PFF put out, hey, what are the chances, just generally, what are the chances of the NFL playoff teams returning to the playoffs? Remember, about half of the teams make it again. The other half changes over just because you've got those hard schedules. It's the parity that they're trying to create. They put the Chargers at moderate, but here's why I think it's high. It's not moderate, it's high. The Chargers have a clear path for improvement in 2025. Interior offensive line and weapons for Justin Herbert. Again, we just talked about add veteran defensive players. I think you should do that. And you can do that very cost effectively. You can get some weapons in free agency. You can draft tight end, wide receiver, running back. Khalil Mack, let me know in the comments, but everybody generally is like, love you, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but take it or leave it. If you come back, sweet, love you, man, and think you're a good player. If you leave, that's more free agent money. We'll find something. We're going to do some things. So you're in great shape. It's like, oh my goodness. So let's transition that over to right here. It talks about top priorities. Again, I'm on PFF a lot lately. I don't know. But get weapons for Justin Herbert. Ladd McConkey, awesome. Only 2 Chargers ranked in the top 100 in catch rate on catchable passes. Will Dissly, who's just shouldn't even be in the rank. It's like that's not even a real number because he wasn't targeted a ton, and it was just nothing explosive and like, ooh, that's really helpful. McConkey for sure. So you have 1. So if the Chargers want to maximize Justin Herbert's potential, upgrading at receiving options should be a top priority. Now, receiving options can go in a couple different ways. It can be receiver, of course, but a receiving running back, can you imagine that? Screen passes, check downs. Yeah, you get it. You get it. So here's their kind of quick mock draft. You've seen a bunch of them. Dylan Sampson, haven't talked about him a lot, but love that. Jack Sawyer, I don't know. Again, I'm in Michigan, so I'm like, the guy sucks. He probably doesn't suck, but he does. Get him out of here. Dylan Sampson, okay. Thomas from Florida State. So that's your first picks right there. I don't love that one. I don't love that draft. Get that draft out of here. Point is, the path is clear. You've got your coaches, retained almost everybody, front office stuff. The path is clear to going back to the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh developing. You've got Justin Herbert. I know everyone was like pissed about the loss, but come on. In the AFC too, if you don't have one of the top 6 quarterbacks, forget it. We the Titans. You got Will Levis. What are you gonna do? You're the Raiders. You've got nobody at quarterback, and what are you gonna sign? Russell Wilson? Oh my gosh. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.